Imagine there are three different groups of people in our industry: leaders, up-and-coming leaders, and followers. And then ask yourself, which of those attend industry events? Hi, this is Tim, founder of the Online Entrepreneur Academy, and together we're building your ultimate freedom business. Today's an exciting day because I'm going to share with you the next installment of what I brought back from Bucharest, Romania, attending EuroMastermind 2016. And today is especially unique because this was the presentation by Erica Udeanu, who called us together. She's the one who had, with her husband Alex, the wisdom to know it was the right time and the right place to send out the call for the right people to come and attend this event, the first of its kind in Europe with Empower Network. It was a cozy 20-some number group of people, which allowed for a great intimacy and getting to know each other in a way that a larger group, which I'm sure it will be in the near future, will no longer allow. So every one of us feels the preciousness of this. And she did a beautiful job with her husband of setting a tone and a rhythm. And I'm going to read to you actually from her presentation because I don't think I could do it justice without using the exact words that she put to it. She said, "This weekend, you're going to learn how to harness the powers of your mind to create a new, compelling future. Build your businesses and no longer be controlled by blueprints from the past that may be preventing you from getting the results you seek." And boy, if I had to boil down her 1-hour presentation to a single word, it would be leadership. She exemplified this herself brilliantly. In fact, I have never attended an event that was more well set up to succeed and nurturing and from the heart and soul caring about you arriving and being well tended to, over delivering with wonderful surprises that were included in the event ticket price that were not mentioned ahead of time. And you just couldn't help but feel that you got more than your money's worth because over-delivered, and for the price we paid, we got a screaming deal. So thank you, especially to Erica and Alex, for making it possible for us to come together at this event. Let's see if I can do justice in a few minutes here to all that I learned in simply the 1-hour presentation from Erica. It really centered around leadership, and she emphasized belief, right? I mean, once again, this idea that maybe 90 to 98% of this whole game called business is mental, right? It's a mental game that first we play with ourselves in terms of our beliefs, and secondly, we begin to interact with others, interweaving beliefs with others in a way that hopefully edifies, hopefully uplifts, hopefully inspires and empowers. And that's definitely what happened in her presentation. I'm going to reference my notes and see if I can give you a few more of the highlights. Obviously, I can't do an hour of what was just a phenomenal presentation. I can't do it justice in a few minutes, but I'm sure going to try anyway. So here we go. It was a quantum leap into how we view our world. You know, she would reference things like people do come for the money, but they stay for the feeling. And she really drove that home in just my ability to experience her as being sensitive and aware of the importance of how people felt, not just what they thought or what they might have come for, that they actually leave, and we leave places that we traveled to even in the event, leave it better than we found it, right? This type of a feeling and a nurturing sense of treating others as we want to be treated. She did touch upon briefly a timeline of her experience in Empower Network back in 2011 starting, and within the first year was able to achieve 5-figure monthly success, and the year after that bumped it up to 6-figure monthly success. There's so much here. She shared a wonderful short presentation, a little video clip actually, of Dr. Emoto And if you're familiar with that, if not, please look it up. Dr. Emoto out of Japan has done some wonderful research with drops of water being influenced by words and intention and energy, resulting in different shaped crystals when that drop of water is frozen. So she shared a number of those to exemplify our influence from that level of feeling and emotion upon life around us, and certainly other people and ourselves, being a good majority, 80-90% water ourselves. There's no doubt that our beliefs and the energies around us are restructuring our own ability to be a drop of water, or when we freeze it, seeing the different shapes of crystals. Highly recommend Dr. Emoto. It's very insightful to see what he learned. In my own opinion, it's as if water is a recording device. And with us being the majority of water, you might even imagine that human beings are maybe more of a recording device than what we think we are. She led us through that to a process she called legacy envisioning, to be able to stretch out long term into the future, some timelines of recognizing from where we are to where we'd like to be, not just 5 years or 10 years, but even out to 20 plus years. And she gave us a good amount of time in her presentation to go within. About 10 minutes, she had us just write down, once she set us up for this process, of what it is we see ourselves experiencing over this legacy timeline. And that was wonderful. I won't go into the specifics that I came up with for that. Might have to do that more privately if you ask me about it. Why would someone join you over joining someone else? She touched upon that. She also reminded us that everyone sucks in the beginning. If you're unwilling to do that rite of passage of going through the difficulties, of being embarrassed, of finding out a number of ways that it doesn't work before you find out your way of how it will work, well then why even get started in the first place? You're not determined enough to go through whatever is necessary to get to that legacy envisioning of what you know is possible. Everyone has to follow before becoming a leader. And she emphasized how important it is that you be clear about who you're choosing to follow in your journey of developing your own leadership. Two things she emphasized, actually. She said, let's see if I see it here. Learn to control your mind, number one, right? That level of belief and thinking is really critically important if it's a good 90 to 98% of a mental game. And secondly, find mentors who can shorten your learning curve. Both of these things happened for me at this amazing event, EuroMastermind 2016. And I'm deeply grateful to Erica and all who attended to help take those steps. Document your journey. She emphasized that. We'll touch on that toward the end of this. Be more valuable. And how to market your value to the marketplace. She had much of her success, her and her husband Alex, on Facebook, running this process of being a leader, developing into a leader, attending events, and even, I guess what I'm doing right now, sharing the experience with others on their Facebook wall, of all places. So she shared very specifically some of the images and other things that over the years produced the greatest result. And many of them were not the most beautiful picture. They were not what you would expect to be the most result-producing contribution, and yet it was, right? It resonated with even just one other person in such a powerful way that it inspired them to join Erica and Alex in what they were doing. Many of those, I'll give you a little hint to it without getting too specific, had to do with event images. And I've heard this from other sources, that event images tend to really interest people into what was the event, where was the event, who was presenting, who are those people, do I know any of those people there, so on and so on and so on. There's a lot communicated in that visual voice of an image of an event, not to mention attending the event yourself, which is what I'm trying to do with you now, right? Just to share the richness of an event. I think I'll wrap it up by saying that she suggested, because of her success with Facebook and reality TV shows and so on, that possibly we consider our Facebook wall as a breakthrough reality TV show. Imagine that your Facebook wall does facilitate somewhat of a journey of documenting your breakthrough reality TV-like show of what is happening, photo by photo, video by video, so on and so on. And are you a developing leader? Are you a leader now? Are you communicating on your Facebook wall and through other media in such a way that others can be inspired to follow you by your example? Because together we overcome.